Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here in Southern California. Today, California secured a first-in-the-nation $344 million judgment against Johnson & Johnson, a company that is well known throughout this nation. We secured that judgment against Johnson & Johnson for endangering patients through deceptive practices involving what they call their pelvic mesh surgical implant device. The pelvic mesh device is a permanent surgical implant designed to treat stress, urinary incontinence, and pelvic organ prolapse in women. Our lawsuit is the product of years-long investigative work done by a number of states. In our lawsuit, we allege that Johnson & Johnson misrepresented the safety of its pelvic mesh products by concealing from consumers and misleading them thereafter about the possibility of serious and irreversible complications caused by their mesh product, including permanent pain with intercourse, loss of sexual function, chronic pain, permanent urinary and defecatory dysfunction, and potentially devastating impacts on overall quality of life. Just saying the name of the device, the type of device, pelvic mesh, permanently and surgically implanted devices, is enough to make you grimace. From 2008 to 2014, Johnson & Johnson has sold more than 470,000 of these pelvic mesh products nationally, including more than 30,000 here in the state of California. Worldwide, more than 2 million women have had these mesh products implanted in their bodies. Today, the Superior Court affirmed that Johnson & Johnson and its subsidiaries, Ethicon Inc. and Ethicon US LLC, violated California's unfair competition law and its false advertising law. J&J knew the dangers of its pelvic mesh products and what those dangers it posed to women. They concealed those risks to women, to patients, to doctors, and they robbed women and their doctors of the ability to make informed decisions about permanently and surgically implanting a device in their bodies. Johnson & Johnson has faced some 35,000 personal injury lawsuits related to its pelvic mesh products. It has settled claims similar to those brought by California, which we have now won judgment over. It received settlements against or with the state of Washington and with a coalition of 42 other states in the nation. But this judgment, this case, is the first time a court has issued findings of fact and ruled that Johnson & Johnson did indeed engage in illegally false and deceptive business practices. Women, patients were deceived and cheated. Their bodies were invaded and scarred. Their lives and health damaged. For that, the court has imposed a $344 million penalty against Johnson & Johnson, and it will likely impose changes in business practices for Johnson & Johnson moving forward. Today, we achieved a measure of justice for the women and families forever scarred by Johnson & Johnson's dishonesty. We hope this sends a message to anyone wishing to do business in California. Do it right, do it according to the law, and we will protect those who use your products.